Welcome to the Open Bedroom Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Kalo. Welcome to conversations about open relationships, online dating, and creating relationship dynamics that truly align for you. But what I have learned recently, my biggest aha moment, is that women want to feel desired and beautiful and craved and wanted, just like men. Like I watch Scott get really turned on and activated in a good way, like light up. When a woman says, I want you, you're sexy. God, I want to ride that beard. Like, oh, you're so smart. Your intellect, stimulates my sapiosexuality and I want more of you. Like, who doesn't want to hear that? Well, ladies, we're the exact same way. So verbally speaking your desire is actually wanted. Hey guys, welcome back to the Open Bedroom Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Ruskin. And what I am very excited about today is to do a solo episode for women about flirting with women. So I'm calling today's episode, Women, How to Flirt with Women. Now, I have realized probably my whole life that I am into women. I think they're beautiful. I think they're sexy. I had my first kiss with a girl on the playground when I was, kindergarten, first grade, young. And even back then, I was like open to some exploration. But then I really didn't start to explore women until my last marriage when we decided to open. I was like, here is my chance. Like, I am going to explore and see what I like. It's really fucking awkward to be a woman and want and try to date other women for I think a lot of reasons. I think a lot of this is societal programming. So I've been talking with several women that we are seeing and kind of talking about this concept. And one of the things that I'd noticed is let's just talk about genitalia for a minute. So men love their cocks. They find and discover their penises as little babies and they never stop playing with them. And they're not even necessarily discouraged from playing with them. They're like, this is a part of me. It brings me pleasure. I like to touch it. Feels good when I touch it. I'm going to play with it. And so I find with men that even metaphorically, they kind of walk around the world with their hand like holding their cock, right? It's like it's a measuring device sometimes, like my cock is bigger than your cock. My cock is prettier than your cock. Like I can fuck your woman better than you can. Women, on the other hand, we are taught not to touch ourselves. We are definitely not encouraged to touch ourselves. We are taught to keep our clothes on. We are taught to not show anybody our private parts. We are not even taught the correct terminology for our bodies. And so what happens, and we are taught our bodies are so sacred. Our vaginas are so sacred that we are saving them for marriage for our husbands, and they're going to know what to do with them. Okay. So that's the programming for a woman. Imagine a woman who is bi-curious and is like, I've like always gotten a little tingly when I look at women, and I'm not really sure why, but maybe I want to check that out. And so what I'm finding is as we start to date women that have never been with women or never been with a couple before, there is a barrier a lot of times when she is not comfortable in her own body, with her own vulva, with her own vagina, with her own self-pleasure, if she doesn't know how to give herself an orgasm. So then what you find is women that are bi-curious, but feel grossed out when it comes to playing with another woman's vagina, right? They're like, hey, I like the kissing. I even like the nipples. Like, that's kind of fun. But I don't even know if I want to know what to do with that. So I'm like leaving a little space on purpose because as women, if we are thinking about vaginas as that's a problem. Do you think that men walk around the world going, well, if I have to take that out of my pants again, If I have to have a woman sit on that, well, I guess his that is bigger than my that. Y'all, this is hilarious because no man would ever call their cock a that. But we would call our vaginas a that. So I'm starting here because a huge population of the listeners of this podcast are men. And men, I think it's important that you understand the way that most women feel and have relationship with their vaginas. And there's usually not one. So coming back to women, how to flirt with women, this is a problem because we don't know what the fuck to do with women. We don't know what the fuck to do with a vagina, even though we have a vagina. Like we have these parts completely accessible to us and literally attached to our bodies, but we don't know what the fuck to do with them. So I wanted to kind of lay out for you that there's what I'm seeing as two types of women that are bi-curious out in the world and ways that women can flirt with other women that could feel more comfortable. I'm going to give you some ideas. Okay. So, as I see it, as my own experience has been, there are two different types of women. There are women that think that they're bi, but they're really more bi-situational. And then there's women that are really bisexual. So, in this first example, you learn that you can take or leave pussy. You don't crave being with a woman. But hey, if there's one in your bed, you'll play with it, you know? You'll play. Maybe you'll touch it. Maybe you'll get somewhat near it. Maybe you'll let your husband fuck it and sort ofly participate, and then, that's enough. In the second experience where a woman is really bisexual, she actually craves a woman's lips on hers. She wants her tongue lapping on another woman's pussy. Fingers buried deep. She wants to fuck her with a double-sided dildo or a strap-on. She wants her nipples in her mouth. There's a palpable sensual sexual tension, even when they're not in bed together, even when it's just a DM or a sexy picture. So it's taken me, Jen, a little bit to realize I'm number two. And so this episode is not to make any woman feel bad for the feelings that she's feeling or the confusion that she's had or the programming that society or her parents have given her. It's to say, I have been her too. I have been bi-curious or bi-situational until I realized and had enough practice and experience. I fucking crave pussy. I want it all over me. I want it. I crave it. I love being with women. And I still absolutely love cock. I love masculine energy. I love the way Scott touches me. I love the attention that he devotes, and he loves me so well. And I love and I crave both the masculine and the feminine energies, the masculine and the feminine bodies. Threesomes are my very favorite experience. Outside of this one time in Dallas that I was in a sex club and we had an orgy, and then next to our little orgy of 4 or 5 ladies, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 women plus Scott. To me, 5 people is an orgy. I don't know. Maybe it's not for you, but we also had another couple that parallel played right next to us at the sex club that we went to. And then that was probably my favorite all-time sexual experience, only because we talk about erotic blueprints a lot on this show, and I'm a high sexual. And so for me, sex is it. Like, I love the stimulation. I'm also a shapeshifter, meaning like I like the energy. I like the attention. I'm also a voyeur and an exhibitionist. Like, sex clubs are where it's at for me because people are watching. I can watch other people. I can hear all the sexy noises. I can perform. I can watch other people perform. And then just all the pussies plus Scott's cock plus the partner play next to us. The parallel partner play was it was incredible. But back to three ways, which is typically what my sex outside of Scott looks like. Um, I love the simplicity of just us going to bed together, like me and another woman and Scott. and then waking up and in the middle of the night, like hands and mouths like roaming and searching for more and going at it again, even after the sexual experience that night. We fall asleep, we have kind of a middle of the night thing. And then you like just kind of pass out from sheer exhaustion because you fucked for hours. And then you wake up in the morning for another round. So I want to lead this to say, you don't work that muscle of learning how to be with another women, I'm talking to you, until you've experienced it a lot. Like I haven't stopped and counted, but I would assume my number of women I have slept with is at least 10, maybe more. And each new experience brings so much new learning for me in terms of my own sexuality, in terms of what she likes. Every pussy is different, every vagina is different. It's shaped differently. It from the outside, like the vulvas are all different. The insides of the vaginas are different. G spots are in different places. I mean, they're always in the front, but sometimes they're high into the front. Sometimes they're just like right inside there, and it all feels different in there. Like, I don't know how men figure it out pretty quickly with us, but it's taken me a hot minute to learn women's bodies, even though I have a vagina too. Just saying. So I want to shift a little and let's talk about just flirting. So I also didn't know how to flirt with women until just recently. If you're watching me, I'm flipping my notes over because I took a ton of notes on this. And these are conversations that I've also been having with not only women that we're seeing, but other women on FetLife or different dating sites that we're on, or even with coaching clients. These are just notes I've compiled because of all those conversations. But what I have learned recently, my biggest aha moment, is that women want to feel desired and beautiful and craved and wanted just like men. Like I watch Scott get really turned on and activated in a good way, like light up. When a woman says, I want you, you're sexy. God, I want to ride that beard. Like, oh, you're so smart. Your intellect stimulates my sapiosexuality and I want more of you. Like, who doesn't want to hear that? Well, ladies, we're the exact same way. So, verbally speaking, your desire is actually wanted. I have a side note on this one. I have had a pretty woke community for most of my adult life, or at least the last 10 years. And I think I just got to the extreme where it was like everything has to be not only asked for consensual agreement at least once, but maybe 3 times. Like, ask her, do you want me to touch your thigh? Ask her, do you want me to kiss you? Now, sometimes it's hot when a woman is like, can I kiss your lips? Can I kiss you? Would it be okay if I kissed you? But you don't have to ask that every time. Like, you don't if you're naked in a bed with a woman, like, you don't have to ask, "Is it okay if I touch her nipple?" Like, fucking go for it. Like, she's naked. She wants you to play with her. So, back to just this simple concept of women wanna feel desired and beautiful and craved and wanted in the same way that men do. I want you to speak what you want to a woman. I know. This is fucking crazy shit. I know. Here's the way this looks for me. Again, high sexual shapeshifter. I'm also not shy, right? So if I have met a new woman, maybe Scott and I are talking to her, maybe she has a picture. Maybe this is on FetLife. Sounds like I've had this experience in the last week. And she's like, in this picture, she is like dripping wet from the shower. Maybe she's soapy. She's got like a soapy picture and water's like running down her body. I might say, assuming we're already in conversation and I'm not being a creep, right? But I might be like, okay, there's this picture of you on FetLife that I saw, and you're in the shower, and it's this black and white picture, and you're all like soapy and wet. And every time I see that picture of you, which by the way, I went back and looked at it this morning because it's so sexy, I just I just want to bury my face in your beautiful breasts. Like, I want to lap the water off your nipples. I really would love to get naked with you. Okay, let's just take a step back because that feels like a lot, right? Like my hands just got tingly saying that. I don't know why, as women, we have a hard time saying that. Because if you draw a parallel to what you might say to a man, and again, maybe I'm a weirdo, but like I tell men what I want. Now I only tell Scott what I want because like, he's the only man in my life. But let's just pretend with Scott. So just the other day, okay, I like picking out underwear that pleases me that he wears. So, for example, like he's not wearing women's underwear, but like I love pink. I love polka dot. I love silly prints. And I bought him this. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Pair of Thieves underwear from Target. But it's like this higher end, really silky, really yummy feeling boxer brief that like forms perfectly to a man's body and really accentuates your cock and your booty. So anyway, Scott has a lot of pair of this underwear. And for his birthday this year, I was like, I'm going to get him something that pleases me that I would like for him to wear. And so I got him some fun underwear. And I told him what I desired one night. And I was like, I would really love that if you would wear that pink pair that I bought you. I know you've been kind of avoiding it. I've seen you wear the other colors for me, and I love that. But I want to see you in those. And I want to feel your body when you're wearing them. And I want you to curl into me and let me put my ass on your cock in that underwear. And I want to play with you. So, like, I just spoke what I wanted. And maybe that's a little too much for you if you're a female listening to this and that like feels crazy. Other things I might say to Scott are this morning when you were in the shower. I wasn't in there with you, but I was listening to the water as it was splashing on your body, and I couldn't help but think how much fun it would be to join you the next time that you shower. Um, would you come grab me next time and let me come wash you off? Again, you could say these exact same things to a woman. So let's just flip the script and let's play with that. I'm going to go back to Steph. You guys have met Steph. She's been on our podcast multiple times. She's my girlfriend. We've been together for about a year and a half. Here's what I could say to her. Now, her and I have actually never showered together. I think her and Scott have showered together, but her and I have never showered together. So I might be in my shower and say, here's a good one. Hey, Steph. The other day, I was listening to some audio erotica. And in this particular story, there were two women and they were in the shower. And one said to the other one, hey, you can take all the time that you need. I just want to pleasure you. And hearing those words, it got me so turned on. And I was thinking about you and I and how we actually have never taken a shower together. Isn't that crazy? What if the next time that we have a sex night planned, what if our aftercare practice is you and I wash each other in the shower? How does that feel? How would you feel about that? See, that's not that crazy. And I just said what I desired. Um, yeah. Okay, let's go to my next thing. So, number one, women just want to feel desired just like men do. Number two, we like to be flirted with. We like to be told how nice our ass looks, how you crave getting your lips back on mine, that you make me wet. I make you wet. Like we want to hear this. Um, how your fingers ache to feel how wet you make me. Okay, like again, I'm going to kind of extremes here, but here's what this could be like. So we try to keep all of our conversations with our female partners all in one place. And right now that's Telegram. So we're doing a bunch of back and forth Telegram. The reason why I like Telegram is it's an app that my kids aren't like getting into. Like they're not going to get into Telegram and look for my conversations. Two, I can upload pictures or video even in Telegram. And it's this like encrypted site that I don't have to worry about people going in and like finding my naked pictures. And I love that it's all in one spot. So, what this flirting can look like is just throughout the day, you keep some kind of connective conversation. So, for example, in the morning, when I wake up in the morning, I'm really horny and almost every morning. And so typically what happens is I go to bed earlier than Scott. He comes to bed later. And so I'm awake earlier again, you know? So I've taken the dogs out, they're back in bed, and I'm laying there and it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And he's just gone to bed a few hours before. So he's like finally in REM sleep. And I'm kind of like laying there and I'm horny. And so I'll typically get on like FetLife and catch up on conversations I had over there, or I'll just look at some sexy pictures. I might respond to some sexy Telegram messages I had from a girlfriend the night before. I might even pop an earbud in and watch some Balesa porn and grab my vibrator. What I'm doing though to try to stay engaged with the women that we're seeing is first thing in the morning, while I'm feeling that warm, snuggly, sexy feeling, is I'm sending a message and saying, I wish you were here with us. I wish you were pressed between Scott and I right now. I'm awake and I'm kind of horny and I wish I could put my hands on you. And that just starts the day. So we're only talking about flirting, women flirting with other women. You could start a conversation each day with your female partners or potential girlfriends or whoever it is that you're talking to and just say, I wish that you were here with me. And then a few hours later, maybe you send a sexy picture to her and say, hey, I took this in the shower this morning and I was thinking about you and how fun it would be if you were in here with me. Some other fun things you could say are, God, I can't stop thinking about the last time that we were together. And I loved that way that you kissed me. It was so soft and gentle, but it went right down to my pussy. And I've been throbbing ever since it happened. Okay. Flirt. It's really hard to be in relationship with someone when you're not getting any kind of conversation, communication, or flirting from them. So flirt just like you would with a guy. Okay, so one of the things I've noticed, so this is my number 3 point, is sometimes as a woman and you're in your bi-curious stage and you're trying to figure out, do I even really like women? You're like, they're pretty. I like their nipples and I like their lips, but I don't really know if I like want to play with their vulvas or I want to get involved in that. What you could do is you could say something like, God, I can't wait to share my husband with you again. Like, or I'd love to XYZ with you and my husband. Like you kind of keep your other partner, if this is a three-way conversation, I guess is what I'm referring to. If you have another person involved in this relationship as you're trying to like get comfortable with, do I want to be alone with this woman? Like, do I want to do things to her? You could kind of use your other person as that hinge. And eventually it's going to feel natural and eventually you're going to feel comfortable sticking your finger down on her clit or touching her wetness or maybe even venturing down with your face and smelling her and tasting her. But some of the most easy ways to ease into uh, girl on girl sex, if you have a male partner, because that feels comfortable, is to do sexy things together with him. And, and then as you're trying to come up with things to say, you could involve them into the conversation. I hope that this one makes sense. The last thing, so the fourth thing that I have for you is I really found as I'm trying to connect with another woman that having one-on-one time with that woman is really the thing that makes that's the glue. Like that's the stickiness. So what I would recommend is go have dates together. And when you're on the dates, like be connected. You could physically touch each other's hand, you could hold hands and walk into a restaurant. Try to keep a like a simmery feeling between the two of you. Flirt across the table. Tell her how delicious she looks. Like you love that shade of lipstick. You like the outfit she's wearing. Her ass looks amazing in those leather pants. And then on the way back out to the parking lot, maybe share a kiss. I have the funniest story about this. This was like last fall. I started to date a woman and I didn't quite get the program that Scott only wanted me to date women with him. And so at this point, I was like, oh, I'm going to have this girlfriend over here because I had a ton of capacity and he was like deeply in school and not available. Anyway, so I'm dating this woman, just me, and we went to dinner. We had this long date. It was so much fun. And we were walking back to the car, and she looks at me and she's like, "Kiss?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we were laughing so hard that when we like came in to kiss each other, like our teeth hit each other because we were cracking up about how silly it was. But it can, I mean, obviously you don't have to be that dorky. I've had some really hot makeout sessions in a parking lot with women. Like it can get very sexy. So you want to keep that connectivity together. One last thing I think I would add to this fourth piece outside of just have a date together, go do yoga together, do girl stuff together, is actually being naked one-on-one, women, woman to woman is a wonderful way to just play. Play, give yourselves lots of time to explore each other's bodies, to explore not only your feelings in your body, but her feelings in her body. And how does your body feel on her body? And and you will figure out quickly if you are more bi-situational or more bi-curious or definitely bisexual just from naked play with each other. All right, ladies, I hope that you feel empowered from this conversation. I hope that you've taken some nuggets away that you can take back into your own life as you start to become more sexually empowered with your own body and your own bisexuality. I do offer one on one coaching, and this is something that I would love to help you with if you're like, I need some help. Like, I need some help dating women, figuring out how to even get there. I need some help with like, what do I say to her? How do I flirt with her? How do I get naked with her? Like, what should I do? I would love to offer coaching for you for that. So I will put the link in the show notes below for coaching with Jen, and we'll go from there.
Thank you for listening to the Open Bedroom Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and give us a like and click subscribe below and stay up to date on all the new episodes that we release. If you have a topic that you'd really like more information on, leave us a comment below and we'll see what we can do. Feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and especially your partners. This is a great way to open up some amazing conversations. We'll see you next week.